All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the University of Waterloo Gamers LAN Finals. This is the lower bracket between GHawks and My Intent. I am Maut, bringing you game number 2 of this best of 3 series, which has gone the side of My Intent for the first game, as you can see here by this dot up in the right side of the screen. Semi-right side of the screen, I guess, center for some of you. And once again, the first ban out from My Intent will be Undying, not a surprise there. So, apparently, I just suck at names so bad that I'm still getting them wrong, and just don't even worry about it. All right, just don't even worry about it. If you have complaints about names, I'll try to fix them. Otherwise, if I can't fix them, then I probably have. I've been struggling. Like I said, I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize if I sound bad or what have you. I put a shirt on though, so I'm feeling good now. Bat Rider will be the next ban out from the side of GHawks. And why not? Incarnate played it so strong in the last game. So this doesn't really... and they had Darkseer in the previous game, but GHawks they couldn't put together a solid team fight. They had one or two, and they had potential with those team fights, but it just didn't go the way of them. I mean, My Intent caught them out a lot with ganks from Riki and whoever and what have you. And of course, the Flaming Lasso pulls people out of team fights relatively quickly. But that being said, that hero is not available anymore. And I think if I was My Intent, I'd probably ban out Templar Assassin here. Keeper of the Light, though, they don't like playing against, and I don't. Yeah, actually that's My Intent. So, but that's a good ban for regardless of team. As you saw in the the previous games, pushing is pretty annoying. Darkseer is going to be banned out here from GHawks, and yeah, that also makes sense too. Of course, not letting Darkseer get up on My Intent is frustrating. Templar Assassin could be the pickup here from MYI if they choose to do so again, but Jakiro is available. They'll pick up TA, and I think this leads Jakiro to go to GHawks and maybe something else. Something important to know: we haven't seen Leshrac today at all. Not super surprising, but something that is interesting and we could potentially see in this game if we play our cards right. So, thanks all for coming. I hope you enjoyed the previous casts. I'll be here for the next few hours casting. We still have the best of 5 to get through after this this series. And there's potentially another game if GHawks can rebound here.
5 seconds remaining.
So they've got some time here. They can think about what they really want to pick. I know Templar Assassin's a big deal for the side of My Intent, but will it be enough to really carry them through the mid-game into a victory here is the question. And I don't know. I think GHawks sort of saw the Templar Assassin. They let it get out of hand pretty quickly, and the Queen of Pain did an okay job against mid, but of course Orbit just played it so well. Bounty Hunter will be the pickup and Chaos Knight as well. So they almost had a really good game with Bounty Hunter previously in the game 2 against Team Shiat, but this time around they will have him with a Chaos Knight, which is very interesting. Those are the first 2 pickups, essentially the utility and the carry. Very strong heroes there. Of course, these nukes will not affect Templar Assassin too much with that refraction being available in Meld as well. But the track for Meld is going to be nice, and of course the bonus gold from track will be, well, sort of promote a little bit more aggressive play from the side of GHawks this time around, and that's going to be good. And we'll almost certainly see Bounty Hunter in the offlane, which we see a lot. We do see it a lot. Of course, the Shadow Walk's so annoying to deal with, and even if you throw a Sentry Ward down there, well, then you just wait until it runs right out in an insane lane. Reserve time is up for My Intent, so they're taking a bit longer than we did in the first time around with the first game. So, Templar Assassin is available. They can pick something like Rubik once again. Jakiro is still available, and I know My Intent would probably pick that. I know a Sway. I'm just going to call him a Sway. Screw it. A Sway will be probably picking up Jakiro if they can get it. I know he plays it pretty strongly. Sniper was the ban out last game. I'm not sure if they'll go for that again. And Chicken MC on Sniper is not something you want to have to deal with. It's a lot of damage. Will be the pickup here, and one more pickup to go. And so there's not a whole lot of choices here. Something like Tide Hunter might be good, or Windrunner. So there's your off-laner, probably. I'd have to imagine that'll be your off-laner. And then again, we see Windrunner in a variety of roles recently, so whole lot you can do with that hero. Good for pushing, though. Good for putting on the pressure, which is what they had to deal with Team Shit against, in Game 2 was Keeper of the Light and Windrunner against the side of GHawks. But they'll pick up a Venomancer, and this is a good pickup for a support hero, and of course the damage to deal the, get rid of that refraction pretty early on. Might see perhaps maybe a Venomancer Chaos Knight dual lane. I don't want to say it's like like a definite for sure thing, but with this Venomancer pickup and with Chaos Knight being such a strong dual mid laner, we could very well see that happen. But that I mean, usually when you see dual lane, you think Leshrac, Chaos Knight, or Chaos Knight plus the Lina, which we saw previously with GHawks. But I think Venomancer could do well as well because if you're going to be going up against Templar Assassin, the slow will be nice to have, and it'll do a lot of damage as well. And the kill, of course, just make sure that refraction takes off. Go for the cast bolt into the reality rift, and that's essentially a dead Templar Assassin. Still easier said than done, but we're getting to the next ban phase here. Tidehunter will be the first ban out for my intent. We've got some time. I think the most what has to be the most maybe tedious part of a casting situation for any caster in Dota 2 is probably the pick ban phase. And while you can theory craft and you can say, well, I think they might do this, this, or this, there's still a lot of unanswered questions that you really have to wait to get into the game to see. And it takes such a long time. I think each pick phase probably takes about 10 minutes, thereabouts, maybe even a little less, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how much the reserve time is used. You think about it, you get about 30 seconds per pick plus about your reserve time, which is 130, I think, at the start of each thing. You got 5 bans you got to do, you've got 5 picks, so roughly that could take about, let's see, 2.5 minutes per ban phase, 2.5 minutes per pick phase, about 5 minutes for each team at its most minimum time, essentially, average. So it's a pretty long, tedious process. One that I enjoy because I can think about it and sort of express to you. Thinking out loud is essentially what's happening when I'm going through these picks and saying, well, they could do this, this, and this, and I think that's what a lot of people do when they theorycraft here. So the next bans will be, of course, once again, the Anti-Mage and the Sniper on the side of GHawks, the Lina this time around on MYI, both sort of giving respect to each other, knowing that they can play these heroes. Lina was played in the last few games on the side of GHawks with Haketo doing it. Tidehunter gone as well, so Haketo's heroes are starting to become thinner and thinner. I don't know what else he can play, but I'm sure we'll find out shortly. And my intent's got one more ban up their sleeves, and not sure what it'll be.
10 seconds remaining.
Could ban out a mid laner here. Maybe Queen of Pain again, perhaps.
5 seconds remaining.
There's a few others in the pool. Surprised Rubik hasn't been banned out yet. And MYI might just take that if they can get it. I don't see why not. And that'd give them a pretty strong lineup. Not a whole lot of team fight there. But then they can sort of top it off with something like a Faceless Void, which would, I think, be pretty good. I've seen multiple Faceless Void Jakiro combos go really well, just because Macro Pyre early on in the game does a lot of damage if it, they're standing under it in like a Chronosphere, on top of the fact that the right-click damage from Faceless Void is just very high in general inside that Chronosphere. And Jakiro is just a strong hero. So the next ban will be the Rubik, so there goes that idea. And finally, GHawks has one more to go, and then we'll get into the last 2 picks for each team. It's really my fault for, I think, getting sick. I was up late last night. I had to get up at 7 in the morning for a swim meet, and something that I wanted to get more sleep, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. I think a lot of that was due to the fact that I was watching a really good movie on Netflix. It was called Indie Game the Movie, and it for those of you that know these games, I'm assuming a lot of you do, they followed the creators of Super Meat Boy and another indie game called Fez as they try to get their, get through the deadline, and it sort of showed what happened as the indie games got released, and it also gave a perspective from the creator of Braid. So it was a really cool movie, honestly. It was actually really, really good, really well done. I usually don't like documentaries, but I'd suggest picking it up. It's definitely something that I would watch again, probably. Sven is the last ban from GHawks here, and strong mid-game hero once again. One of the flavors of the month, I have to say, is that hero. 33 seconds here on the pick ban phase. Enigma will be the choice here for MYI. And we could see Enigma in the offlane or in the jungle, so there's still a lot of options they've got to go with here. But with this black hole, this could be very strong. They've only got they've got a Many Stone on the Bounty Hunter, and of course they've got a Chaos Bolt on the side of the Chaos Knight, but not too much long range here. They sort of have to hope that Chaos Knight's not in the black hole and that Enigma really doesn't farm a BKB. Nothing to really counteract Magic Immunity just yet. Might be go for a Vengeful Spirit swap or a Beastmaster Roar. Because I know my intent will probably farm that BKB relatively quickly.
5 seconds
and of course he's just a strong pushing hero regardless. You don't even need to really use Black Hole. I mean, it's certainly his best ability, and certainly can change the complexity of many team fights. And with this lineup, it could be really good. Get a Enigma Black Hole up with a Windrunner Power Shot, followed by Side Blades from Templar Assassin. That could be a lot of damage done relatively, in a short order. So 1 minute left on the reserve time for GHawks. They've got 2 picks to go. What do you pick here to sort of counteract this? Well, you don't have a mid hero unless you send Chaos Knight Venom mid like I was talking about earlier. And you already have an offlaner. You could use another support as well. So the mid hero doesn't need to be picked up, and I don't think they'll go with Quap here for this mid hero. Just because it didn't work out for them in the previous games, they might want to try something different here. They don't have Bat Rider available. They don't have Templar Assassin, obviously. No Rubik. We saw in the first game they picked up, it was a Lena Chaos Knight combo in the first dual lane we saw in mid. I don't know what they'll decide to go here. I'm surprised Leshrac has not been picked up for any of these teams yet. I don't think my intent will pick it up. They do need to pick one more carry here unless they decide to go with Templar Assassin into the mid to late game. But what's also important to note is that not every team is going to pick a team based on, what do they need to fill holes in their lineup. A lot of the teams will go for an early pushing aggressive lineup and try to end a game pretty soon, pretty quickly. Instead, Crystal Man's going to pick up here for GHawks, so it's looking like a tri-lane with CK, Veno, and Crystal Man, but that still leaves room for a mid lane hero against Templar Assassin, and I don't know what it'll be. So we got some time here, 32 seconds for reserve on MYI's time, and 11 seconds here on GHawks. So
10 seconds
we'll get
remaining.
in just a moment.
5 seconds remaining.
So carries, once again, I think Faceless Void would be a nice
Reserve
pickup.
time.
I think I've seen Chicken MC play that one before. Mostly Sniper though. Or Naga Siren to combo with the
Radiant
Enigma would be
team
nice as well. What's important to know that is her base damage is really low, and she's usually used as a number 2, and gets a little bit less of the farm and doesn't act as much as the hard carry anymore. So I think Templar Assassin will be going for a lot of the right-click damage. Naga Siren can carry this into late game, make herself tanky, and get her illusions nice and damagey as well. But this is going to be essentially sleep into Black Hole like crazy. And Gyro will be the pickup on the side of GHawks. So something we see a little bit, not too much recently, but a little bit. He's frustrating to play against. He can do a lot of damage. He can farm lanes relatively quickly. His ultimate does a bit of damage, so we'll have to see what they decide to go for. What's important to note is the stuns here aren't... They've got approximately, not including the missile from Crapo, they've got approximately 2 stuns and a mini stun from the side of the Bounty Hunter. And if you include the homing missile, it's 4 total. But 2 of those stuns are kind of, useless in the sense that you don't use them as stuns generally. So Empyrean and Hakeda will be the ones trying to really cancel the BK Blade or the Enigma Black Hole, which will be difficult considering the fact that Naga Siren will be setting it all up for him.
Remaining.
And so waiting on my intent to decide who they're going to play, who's going to play who. We have one more pick up here, and in fact we will get into the game. Once again, this is the University of Waterloo Gamers LAN Final, best of 3 series between my intent and, of course, GHawks. And this is game 2. So Jamie D will be on the Enigma. We'll see Incarnate on the Windrunner. A Sway or a Sway or a Sway will be on the Jakiro. Chicken MC will be on the Naga Siren, and in Orbit once again will be on the Templar Assassin. Finally, over on the side of GHawks, we'll have Wind Pulse will be on the Bounty Hunter. Incarnate is Empyrean is the Chaos Knight. Wind Shear is on the Wind Venomancer. Hakeda will be on the Crystal Maiden, and finally we'll see Crapo on the Gyrocopter. So it's going to be a solo off-lane Bounty Hunter once again, it looks like, and we'll see what looks to be maybe I don't know how this mid's going to work out. It might be Gyrocopter. I don't know. I think it's either going to be Gyro or it's going to be dual lane mid. So we'll have to see what they decide to go with. But Templar Assassin should be relatively okay. They're actually rotating Incarnate down, who Incarnate will probably be in the off lane. So that's looking like where he's heading. So tri-lane, sort of pseudo tri-lane with Jamie D in the jungle. So it'll be Chicken MC and a Sway up against a solo Bounty Hunter. So not a whole lot of aggression early on, probably, I'd have to imagine. Maybe in the dual lane. It looks like it will be Empyrean and Windshear heading to the mid. Bottom will be Crapo and Hakado. And we'll have to see how this works out for them. Now, with the Enigma getting farmed in the jungle, there's not really much they can do to stop him, except, ward him up, you get the camps warded, and go for some ganks early on. But Jamie D will have a nice time here in the jungle. Naga Siren and Jakiro up here in the top lane should be fine as well. No wards are coming out just yet on the side of Bounty Hunter. He can throw them in here in just one moment, and will probably do so. DD Rune is actually picked up by Enigma, which will make his job a lot easier to farm and get it done a little bit quicker. Windrunner Probably skill out Wind Run first, then go for Power Shot afterwards. It's going to ward here in the jungle, though, just to make sure she doesn't get ganked too often. So this dual mid lane will be frustrating for Orbit, but probably not impossible. But Windshear will be trying to harass as much as possible. Templar Assassin waiting to skill, might go for Side Blades first, but if having trouble, might go for Refraction or Meld. And Incarnate down here in this bottom lane is going to look to get Wind Run first, like I predicted. Not a difficult prediction there. So if Orbit's even getting a little bit of farm, this isn't going to go well for them, this mid lane here. I mean, it's fine, but the problem is I think that they really need to be aggressive. They need to be zoning a little bit more, and they really need to kill Orb, because Templar Assassin, while she requires a bit of farm, she also just does a lot of damage regardless, so let's keep that in mind. Meanwhile, Wind Pulse will go into a Shadow Walk here, but there is a Sentry Ward. There's going to be the Ensnare, do their vision. Ice Path will fly. Will this be First Blood is the question, and now they're not going to get the vision of him. He'll rotate up here, close to the tower, but he'll be just fine. He's got enough regen to regen back up to full health. Meanwhile, Orbit getting initiated on with that Venomous Gale, and now he looks like this is actually going to be First Blood, so this is exactly what they needed to do. Oh, but the Salve going to save his life just barely, and he will get away. But, of course, you see how much he's taking down for, and that Salve will run away, and, of course, the Tango will pop out as well. So he needs to be careful. Has 1 point in Refraction, but you see how quickly it ticked down. It was almost immediately, and that was from the creeps as well as the Venomous Gale plus the right-click from the Poison Sting. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Wind Pulse staying here in a nice position to get experience, get some farm. And we actually might see Jamie D come in here and look for a initiation. Doesn't have enough mana for Malphite, but has actually a Clarity Potion.
Invisibility.
He's going to go after this big camp right now. He's not doing a bad job here. Wind Pulse might try to steal an Eidolon, and in fact does so. And he's actually going to chase Jamie D around. We're not seeing rotation from the Jakiro, and we'll see if they can just push him back a little bit. In fact, does. See, this is a nice little observer ward more the full camp here. Mid lane, Windshear is actually invised up. And once again, this is important. They need to get this lane control, or the rune control, excuse me, with Windshear early on, so that they don't have to worry about CK leaving the lane. He can get some farm, and Windshear can just be fine with just getting the runes, maybe looking to set things up. Bottom lane's going okay. Look at that crap. He's got 10 last hits right now. Windrunner only at 1 approximately, so he must have done a good job against this Windrunner. She doesn't have power shots. She's got 2 levels into it, but she's not really getting the last hits just yet. Is there a pull camp available is the question, and it's not been warded up. It has not been stacked either, but soon it will be. Orbit with his bottle. So 257 into the game right now, and they're really going to be relying on to level 6 here once Chicken MC and, of course, the Enigma get to level 6. We'll see that in a couple of minutes. He's at level 4 right now, so he's pretty close. He's farming the big camp, so he's doing a good job of microing as well, so he should be just fine getting there pretty quickly. And now this tower's actually been pushed back relatively, pretty quickly, so Orbit's doing a nice job farming, getting a nice little double creep kill there. He's got 9 last hits, so he's not doing too bad. He hasn't died yet. He's came very close, but no first blood going to either team just yet, and we'll have to keep an eye on all the lanes. Tranquil Boots will be the choice of the Windrunner. She can get those tier 1 boots finished up here. And Sideblade's doing a bit of damage to Sheer. He's still very, he's not very tanky. He's only got 606 health. He doesn't really have anything to stop, of course, Orbit from coming in and right-clicking, except for killing him, essentially. And Jamie D with the Soul Ring finished up can now farm a little bit more effectively. And why not? Level 4 on him. Level 6 will be coming soon, and we'll see some ganks early on, probably, once this Nagasar's ult is finished. Wind Pulse taking some right-click damage from Chicken MC. Naga getting 18 last hits right now, and pretty much tied with everybody. There's the Ice Path plus the Ensnare. Will this be enough for the question? Dual Breath going out as well. Shouldn't be enough. He's barely surviving, though. Of course, that Dual Breath taking him down, but he's at 51 HP. He's got a salve. He'll back off, pop the salve, and then get back into the lane, it looks like. Chaos Knight bottling up a regen rune. He does buy a bottle right now, which is it's a good thing. Meanwhile, First Blood down to the bottom lane. God, I missed it again. Crapo this time around will get the kill on Incarnate. Looks like he used a homing missile to do the job. So, alright, good start for Crapo. So GH, with that First Blood, will they be in a little bit more of a good position to start this game rather than the last game when they sort of Incarnate got the double First Blood up here in the top lane on that Bat Rider. Once again, thanks for joining us. This is the University of Waterloo Gamers LAN final for Dota 2. 3 teams are here. 2 of them are playing right now. The third is waiting for these games to finish up to see who finishes. Nice little last hit there from Wind Pulse just to take away that gold from Jamie, who's almost level 5. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, both these heroes level 4, Orbit level 5 right now, so of course getting that extra experience, considering 2 of these heroes have to share it. So, And Orbit doing a good job of last hitting, getting 17. Nice melt there to avoid the damage from Imperion's nuke, but taking a bit of damage. Venomous skill to fly, but we see a TP coming in on the side of Windrider, looking for a Shackle Shot. Will they find one? Power Shot's going to fly out. Will they get the kill? Oh, just barely grazing Sheer, but he's very low health. Going to try to maybe die this. No, they got what they wanted. Now Incarnate will probably head back down bottom and try to stop this lane from farming. But Crapo's doing a good job. He's got 25 last hits at 790 gold. Not sure what he'll go for first as terms of big items. He probably could go for a Shadow Blade, which we see all the time on gyrocopters. It's very, very nice to really just, you know, be in biz and roam around the map like that. But we'll see what happens. Imperion taking a lot of damage. 3-second stun onto Templar Assassin. Not doing much there, just stunning him just for a moment. I mean, if anything, saving his life. But the regen rune isn't activated by Imperion. Invis up on Wind Pulse. We'll head back up to the top lane. Jamie D still level 5, close to level 6 right now. And that's important. Chicken MC up here in the top lane with the Arcane Boots. Pretty regular build there. Stout Shield up as well. Not going for the Coin Blade, despite the fact that the damage nerf was so very strong to Chicken MC, or excuse me, the Naga Siren. Bottom lane, Incarnate, still looking to get those boots. Gonna take a while. Power Shot will fly out, getting one of the last hits there. And Orbit going for phase as well, pretty close to those. And Bottle Crowing back to the base as well. Imperion, level 5 right now. Looking for a pull onto Orbit right now. There's going to be Venomous Gale at will left. There's a 4-second stun, and Orbit might be in some trouble right now. He's got no bottle to regen back up to full health. He needs to get to the tower. If he can get to the tower, pop his Refraction again. He just doesn't have enough mana. He should be okay. The bottle needs to get to him to really regen, but Jamie D is actually going to rotate in. I don't think he's level 6 yet, but he can go in for a kill on the Initiator. They're going to Malphite him out. Orbit's taking a lot of damage. He's melting out. He's going to go down, but the Eidolon's taking a lot of damage. On Winter, we see Sway rotating in as well. Ice Patch just barely missing. Here comes Wind Pulse. They're looking for another kill. They might find one on Jamie D. He's going to have to back off. He's tracked up, so nice try on the rotation from Jamie D, but they get the kill. Imperion getting it on the Templar Assassin. That's what they needed, so nice stuff there. So, 2 for nothing.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they sort of abandoned this middle lane just here for a second. Incarnate doing a good job of blocking, very close to boots. So he needs to get those just for that movement speed, which is really nice. Top lane, Naga's sort of getting free farm right now. 44 last hits at almost 8 minutes in the game, and Chicken MC's farm is pretty nice right now. So that's going to be the scary thing. I mean, Gyrocopter's doing a good job, but only 38 instead of the 45 up in the Naga Siren. He's got a ring of a kill, though. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter going to get a kill in the jungle here on the Enigma. So, nice play. 3-0 for the side of GH. And that delays his level 6 even further, I believe. Yeah, he's not level 6 just yet, so that's going to be a lot of time. A Sway now in also a precarious position. And, now in the bottom lane, Gyro and Haketo. I don't think Haketo's left this lane at all in this entire game. At least I don't remember him doing so. TP up top from Jamie D. He's going to look to get back into the jungle and start jungling and finish up that level 6 again. And that black hole, from what I understand about this game, is pretty imperative. I hope. Wind Pulse now. Just sitting around the tower. Looking for maybe another gank pretty soon. He's just going to steal some experience from this lane. And Orbit's doing a lot of damage on Imperion. Needs to be careful. He's got a bottle. I don't know how many charges are left in it. Psionic Trap has popped up on the high ground here. Imperion actually has a bottle with Illusion Rune in it, so he'll be able to just charge right back up. Incarnate, losing a lot of mana right now. He's actually going to get initiated from Haketo. There's the Frostbite plus the Crystal Nova. Will it be enough, though? There's going to be the Homing Missile. He's got a salve. He should pop it up. I mean, it'll be a lot of damage here if he takes this from a long distance. So he's going to keep running away from it. I don't know if he'll be able to outrun it here. The tower doing a bit of damage. Will it be enough is the question. Yes, he turns around and right-clicks it, and it's fine. So he saves himself from that. Meanwhile, we see rotation from Repulse here. We've got 4 in the mid lane right now. Meanwhile, Jamie D looking for the tower up in the top lane. His Eidolon's doing a nice job there. Doing a lot of damage to that tower, but Orbital's going to get hit for a 3-second stun, plus the Venomous Gale. Refraction is still going, but it'll pop off soon. Orbit wants to get the kill on Empyrean. Ice Path misses just barely. Orbit taking a lot of damage. Dual Breath coming in as well. There's the melee damage on the windshield. They're looking for the kill. They get one. Nice power shot. Empyrean still taking a bit of damage. Nice trap. There's the dust going onto Wind Pulse. There should be enough damage from the side blades. Reality just barely missing. Refraction not going to be enough, but it doesn't matter. He's going to stay alive. But the right click from Wind Pulse should do the job, and in fact does. Here comes this call down from Crapple right now. Might be able to get Incarnate. Just barely walking out of it, but Incarnate's very low. Looking for another kill here. Honestly, or Incarnate is Crapple. He's still going. And Vizrune popped up in the top lane from, or excuse me, in the mid lane from Naga Siren, looking for something. There's the, is the sleep popped? It's all on Wind Pulse, but he's actually going to back out. So they were looking for a black hole, realized it wasn't worth it. They weren't able to catch all of them in the Naga Siren sleep. So a little bit of a waste there, but that's fine. He'll head back up to the top lane and maybe look to finish this tower. Actually, it's been finished off by the Anilons already. So a nice job by the Enigma to turn that into a tower with his pushing ability. They held off the aggression mid. They got a few kills. It's 4-2 right now. I want to check the graph stat. It's 10:55 into the game. 0 experience, really, so it's pretty much even. 1,500 as far as gold goes for the side of MYI, so they've got a little bit of advantage despite losing the first blood in the early kills. The dual lane mid is sort of an experiment that's over right now. They had some good farm with the Empyrean, but just wasn't... I mean, they got... did they get a kill onto the Templar Assassin? I think they got 1 or 2 on him. With the, of course, the Venom skill, and they got pretty close early on, like very early. Like I'm talking like 2 minutes into the game. So, Psionic Trap's up on the high ground here. It's barely out of tower range vision, I believe. So, nice little trap here to give them vision on the high ground, which is nice. But actually, no, they do have vision on that. So they'll take it down. And Orbit looking pretty good, 600 gold. Not quite the start that he had last game, but still. Wind Pulse now looking to go on Incarnate here. And there's going to be the initiation from the Janata plus the Shuriken Toss, but here comes the homing missile flying in as well, so can Incarnate get away from it this time around? It's going to be taking some tower damage, 1 more from that tower, and then of course this tower damage, and he should be able to turn around and right click it. In fact, does so and get some more gold from it. So good job avoiding those homing missiles. Orbit getting some more farm in the mid lane. Top lane, Empyrean is here. He might rotate mid and look for a kill on Orbit. And now, Naga Siren with 64 last hits at 12 minutes in the game. Gyrocopter's caught up pretty well. He's at 61 right now, but of course with Flat Cannon you can do so. Power Shot going to fly in as well. Homing missiles going on the range creep. I think that was a little bit of a misclick. Orbit getting a DD rune, and this could be scary for Empyrean. I mean, this trap could fly out, but actually they have a sentry on the high ground just to make sure that the trap does not fly out. But Orbit might look to go here on Empyrean. Naga's still up here getting free farm. Now we see an initiation mid, it looks like. No. Just gonna pop it just to sort of harass him a little bit. 72 for Naga, 65 for the, of course, the Gyrocopter down here, 66 as of right now. Going for what looks to be a BKB. He's got his Ogre Club. Could also be an Aghanim Scepter, but I highly doubt it. Usually go for the point booster first. Orbit in the mid lane with 1,000 gold in his bank. Looking for a Blink Dagger, I have to imagine, at about 15, or excuse me, 1,100 gold. Jamie D with the Soul Ring now also pushing up the mech recipe. Just needs the headdress and the buckler to finish up as well, and he'll have that. He actually has enough for the headdress recipe, so he just needs really the buckler, essentially. So a lot of vision here. Meanwhile, some initiation onto the Templar Assassin. Trap was popped, but doing a lot of damage. He has his DD damage rune still, and there it goes. And a lot of damage on Empyrean. One more right click should do the job, and it does. Wind Pulse is going to try to get out. Dust is popped. Can he go? The trap will fly. Will not pop, though. Not in range. He's too fast in that Shadow Walk form with track up. But with that DD damage, they can't really get near him. They can maybe take the time here to try to take this mid tower. We'll see some rotations in coming from the rest of the team. And this might be a good time to fight with that BK, or the setup with the black hole. But of course, Naga Siren's still top. Getting text messages like crazy, meanwhile. Nice Shackle Shot onto Crapo, so that's going to delay his team fighting ability just for a moment, but everybody else from MYI backs off, and Naga's still free-farming here in the top lane. Might see some initiation. Wind Pulse is thinking about it with the side of Crapo, who does throw up a missile onto the Templar Assassin. They're going to try to right-click this down, but it takes a lot of damage on Orbit. Here's the call down, and Orbit taking a lot of damage, just barely getting out alive, but here comes the Wind Pulse right now, looking for the kill with the Shuriken Toss. Doesn't do anything. There's going to be the... Oh, he didn't do it. No! No, miscommunication. They missed the black hole completely. They stopped the Naga Siren, but the Naga Siren gets a kill. Double kill, however, for the Venomancer. So 2 for 2 right now. Continually going. Chicken will actually get another kill, but he's going to get a 4-second stun. Plus, of course, the Rocket Barrage doing a lot of damage. Crapo taking some damage. There's the Refraction. Empyrean looking to go down as well. This could be a team wipe here, but they get the kill on the Enigma. So 3 for 4 right now. Nice long stun. Nice meld to avoid it, though. And Orbit's going to pop right back up to full. And forget the Blink Dagger. They're going to go for a Mithril Hammer into a Desolator early on here. Unless it's already going. Nope. So 3 for 4 is the trade. 7-7 is the score there. Relative. And that would have been a team wipe if they had gotten that combination of Naga Siren ult plus the Enigma Black Hole off. That's frustrating. Man, is that frustrating to watch. That's something you don't want to see any day. So nice try there. They'll go back, though, for the time being, and they're going to heal up just for a second. And Incarnate down here in the bottom lane. Wind Pulse. Maybe looking to initiate once more. Still has regular boots. Probably going to buy phase boots relatively soon. If they're not already bought on the courier. Ward up here on the high ground. Getting some vision on these traps. Want to make sure that you try to clear all the traps as possible. So good job by GHawks just to make sure they can clear the traps. Clear all the sentry wards. Things of that nature. Make sure they don't get counter warded. They're doing pretty good with it. And they need to do so to try to claim a victory in this game. Looking at the graphs here, we see 4,000 going in favor of MYI. As far as experience, gold is going to be 30,000 thereabouts. So, I mean, they're in a pretty sizable lead at 16 minutes of the game. But then again, of course, he's got a nice little carry in Empyrean with that Chaos Knight. So they need to get some more farm. BKB will the choice for him, and this could be huge. This could be a big deal. If they can get that off before the Naga Siren Sleep happens and before the Black Hole obviously goes off, it could be something that's a big deal. Relic is purchased up for the Naga Siren, so it will be a Radiance, and it's going to be a pretty quick one. Almost about what looks to be 18 minutes at this point in time. If you could just get a little bit more farm going here. Doesn't have the recipe on the courier just yet, so he doesn't need to purchase that up. Power Shot flying, doing a bit of damage to Windshield, pretty much taking up a quarter of his health there. He's going to get Shadow Shadow, but nothing going to follow up.
Dire's bottom
We're
tower
going to
is
counter
under
ward the Serpent
attack.
Plague wards here, and meanwhile, dive coming in onto Jamie D. He looks like he's going to go down. Very aggressive play. Nice mech. Should save his life for the moment, but allows some time to rotate in. And Incarnate's here sort of alone, but they're able to get the kill on Jamie D. Fortification on the tier 1 tower bottom. So they give some more room to farm for the Naga Siren, who's been farming like crazy. And Incarnate's here, along with Jakiro, but this tier 1 tower is getting forwarded up and is defended just barely. It's at about half life right now. Not the game. Power Shot going to kill these creeps pretty quickly, and of course here comes the homing missile onto Incarnate. Now have to be careful here.
Dire's bottom
And we'll
tower
take
is
care of it
under
rather
attack.
quickly. And right clicks enough from, of course, Sway. Grappa going to rotate bottom here. 92 last hits right now, so he's actually doing decently in terms of farm. He's almost got a BKB right now, but you look at Chicken MC, and his farm is going just a little bit better because he's going to get that ratings relatively soon. Not just yet, but like I said, maybe around 18 minutes. He's got about 600, so he's very close, about halfway there. In the bottom lane, Incarnate does need to be careful. With the Soul Ring, a rather interesting pickup for Windrunners. You usually don't see that happening, but I think I like it. I think it's better than the Ring of Basilius just because Ring of Basilius is nice and everything, and it's a good item, but the Soul Ring allows you to really spam up your abilities, your Power Shot, really get some farm that you were missing because you're a little too scared to go into the lane. Ping's coming out up here around the high ground, making sure that Wind says, hey, they might be over here. In fact, they see them going through the river. They have this ward here on the low ground. Double Damage Ruin is actually bottled up by Orbit with his Desolator pretty soon to finish up. Only needs the recipe, which is approximately 700 away. Jamie D rotating mid. They could look to fight this. Nice mech being finished for Enigma, so still with the tier 1 boots. Might go for something like a Blink Dagger or BKB next. Not 100% sure. But Trap's going to fly out here in the mid lane. Windshear and Empyrean are going to try to back off, and this tower is going to get forwarded up, and the TPs are going to come in to rotate in. Naga's not there yet. Actually still farming away. Very close to the ratings, waiting for that to fight, I think. So Orbit and his team will have to back off for the moment and just be sort of a little bit defensive here until this ratings can get finished up, in which case they can go for a team fight, and that ratings burn inside that black hole is going to be a lot of damage. So recipe, I'm not sure if it's 1200 or 1300. I'm pretty sure it's 12. Actually, it's 1350, so I'm completely wrong. It's actually 100 away. So all these camps have been cleared here. They actually just respawned, but she's going to go to the one over in this one and take care of that relatively quickly. Incarnate still. Well, let's look at the rest of the items in the game. I've been focusing on MYI a lot. You see the BKB on Empyrean will finish up soon. Same with the Gyrocopter. That's going to be nice for, of course, the Naga Siren Sleep, which allows you to spread out. But the black hole, of course, goes through the black hole, so you have to keep that in mind. So even if you avoid the Naga Siren Sleep, if you still get black hole, that's kind of a problem. Eidolons will be sent in here to this tier 1 tower. They want to keep pressuring it. They're pinging out to defend it. They're saying, hey, let's get here right now. Incarnate's meanwhile on the bottom lane here with Empyrean, trying to get some more farm. Almost with that Mithril Hammer. He's at about 1,400 gold. Ratings is flying up to the courier, so a little bit later than expected. 1945. Had some tough time there at the end. Doesn't matter. Iron Branch will also be dropped as well. Not sure what they're doing. Oh, they're going to try to give him the salve. He's going to pop the salve and then pick pick up his Iron Branch real quick. And now they're going to look to fight, I think. He's got that Radiance, which is a bit of damage at 20 minutes into the game. I mean, heroes like... I mean, Hikato has still only 600, health. 1,000 for the Gyrocopter, which is pretty nice, of course. And, there's a lot of squishy heroes on the side of GHawks, and this is going to be difficult. This is going to be really difficult. The Radiance Burn is going to do a lot. Let's see if they try to pressure anything, though. They might go for this Tier 1 tower, which they've been sort of knocking out for the past few minutes. Now, Gyrocopter, I'm not sure what he's going to go for next. He's got his BKB finished up. He's got his phase. What do you do next here in this situation? You go for the Lothars. Yeah, I don't know what you really do here. Maybe go for a little bit more damage. I mean, Emperion's already putting out enough damage as it is, but the problem is the refraction. Meanwhile, we see an aggressive maneuver here from the mid lane, and Orbit looking to take the tower down, move the last hit with his Desolator finished up. Also pretty good to get that armor reduction on all these heroes. So, counteract that track, essentially. And they're looking to initiate. They're all pretty grouped up here. There's going to be the sleep that's going to land on 2-on-3 even, and the problem here is this could be essentially shrooped. There's going to be the Black Hole on 2. Ice Path going to fly in as well. So those two heroes are dead instantly. There's the call down. Smoke going to be, or Dust going to be popped, but Crapo's in a bad position. He should be going down. His BKB is popping. I mean, Appearance here as well, but the Desolator damage is really high. Appearance doing a good job of getting the right clicks down, but they're going to get him as well. And now Windpulse has to get out of there. He's going to try to hoof it out of here. He doesn't have Dust on him anymore. And he'll be just fine, but it was 4 for 1. It looks like we saw a buyback from the Naga Siren. Did go down, I believe. And Templar Assassin actually getting a kill on Windpulse, so a complete entire team wipe on the side of my intent. Really well played. They really needed the cancellation from the Bounty Hunter, but it was a nice ice path to it right in essentially the black hole. Of course, the Radiance Burn, and those guys melted instantaneously. It was just, they died. There was nothing about it that really they could have done. Those were 2 squishy heroes. It was these 2, I'm pretty sure. And those are the squishiest heroes in the game. You think about 663, 986. Well, 986 is not too bad, but still. She died, like, in 1 shot. Like, she took, like, 1 thing to the face, and that was it. It was done. So nice play there from my intent. Empyrean getting 1 of the kills, though, which was nice. And they tried. I mean, they almost had a few more kills there. They're all pretty low, but once again, they're leading pretty sizably. 12-9 after that last fight. 7,500 in terms of experience and gold as well. And they took the Tier 1 tower. So Tier 1 tower is only left in the bottom lane here for the side of GH. And once again, this is the University of Waterloo Gamers LAN Final. I'm Maut, bringing you Game 2 between GHawks and My Intent. And My Intent's got a pretty sizable Game 1 lead, and 1 game lead, excuse me. And they're also leading in this Game 2 right now. So GHawks has to get it together if they want to try to force this to a Game 3 and get back up to the winner's final, the grand final between Team Shiat, whoever wins this game. But you see the solo Roche happening right now with Orbit. He's going to be doing a lot of damage with Mel, and of course, this Refraction getting the bonus damage, Desolator as well from the armor reduction. So he can do this just fine. He can just keep popping Refraction, keep melting it up, and look how fast this is going on right now. So no idea on the side of GH, and even if they did, they couldn't really stop this, I don't think. BKB very close to being finished up for KSN. He needs that. He needs to stay alive a little bit longer, and he cannot keep getting focused down. And Gyro died pretty relatively quickly, even with BKB in that team fight. Aegis will go to the Templar Assassin, and they can look to fight right now. They can be a little bit more aggressive. Of course, we do have the Naga Siren farming the jungle right now. 23-19 says Empyrean right in the game. Oh god, he says in chat, realizing his mistake. Song of the Siren is available. What about the black hole is the question. 47 seconds there, so they should try to maybe avoid. They could absolutely take a fight without it, but certainly maybe think a little bit. They feel a little bit better with it. I don't think that was a gift. I think My Intent, being the team that they are, always writes down the Roshan times. I would be very surprised to see they didn't. So, but this Tier 1 tower is the next point of entry here for MYI. TPs are coming in. I don't think the black hole's ready just yet. He's in the back, though. He's got 20 seconds on it. If they could maybe avoid a fight for about 20 seconds, they could absolutely take this. TP's coming in from the side of GH, and I think if they lose this tower, that'll be really bad for them. They could certainly come back from it. Power shot coming out. They're barely missing Empyrean. They're chasing for him. They know he's down there. TP's going to come out. Mel Dam's going to do it as well. Shadow shot will fly, will miss, and so will the ice path. But this tower's going to go down as well. So now we're going to try to contest this. Maybe even keep going here. They have the sleep. They've got the black hole. This is where you can be really aggressive as a player when you have this initiation. But instead, they're going to head to the top lane and try to, take it away here. Vitality Booster is the next pickup for the Naga Siren, so it looks like it will be a Heart of Trask. Maybe a Vanguard, but generally you don't see those too often. Now when you can buy up a Heart of Trask. And it is a Vanguard, so I lied completely about that. Great. But still, making you a little bit more tanky, and of course, You don't need to get too much farm to use it. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we're actually going to see GHawks take care of Enigma real quick. I think he might have used cooldown for that. He, in fact, did. But it's on such a short cooldown that it's fine. You see, cooldown's only about 50 seconds at this level, and then 45 for its previous, so, or its last, so. And now, Templar Assassin's in the mid lane right now, and alone here, but against Crappa, who's also alone. And Jamie D giving me a shout-out, so I'd like to give him the heart back. TP up here in the top lane. And Imperion looking to maybe go on Naga Siren, who will back off just for a moment. Remember that sleep's still available, so can save his life. Almost level 16 for Chicken MC. I want to see the levels for everybody else here. 13 and 12. 13 and 13, excuse me, for the, of course, the Castnet and the Gyrocopter right now. But 16 and 15, once again, for the two carries on the side of my intent. Scary. And GHawk, they've been playing well, but they're running out of time really fast here. You can see the experience, and that's a lot here at 25 minutes into the game, and gold as well. So, they need to get something done here, and it's going to be tough, because fighting into this kind of lineup is something that you don't want to do. You got the kill on the Enigma, and you need to try to replicate that with more kills there. Incarnate with the Force Staff, finished up with Phase Boots going still. And Ring of Protection built from the Tranquils earlier on. Chicken MC getting something flown out, I believe. What is it? It is a Magic Wand. Alright, so standard stuff. A Sway here as well with Arcanes. Let's look at the side of Hikato. What does he got? Going for Hydrus, looks like it will be a mech, unless they already have it. BKB up, we already saw that. Phase Boots have been finished on Bounty for a while. Built of Strength plus the Ring of Aquila, so it looks like it's going to be the, of course, the Phase Boots. Or, not the Phase Boots, the Power Treads. And Imperion with his BKB finishing up now as well, so they can look to maybe try to be a little bit more aggressive here and maybe stay alive in fights, but Templar Assassin getting one as well is sort of disconcerting. And now Chicken MC looking for level 16 here, and once that level 16's up, that's a 60-second cooldown for Song of the Siren. We all know how annoying that can be. Not fun. Meanwhile, we're going to actually see a call down here up in a big team fight. Macro Powers popped as well. Jamie D will go down. Incarnate going down as well. Do they have buybacks is the question. And that's really what they needed. Two dead on the side of GH as well. But now a nice Ice Path doing a ton of damage is the Desolator. And Grapple will in fact go down Wind Shear as well. So godlike for the Templar Assassin. Nice plays. Despite the fact you got that kill on the Enigma really quickly. You saw a rotation come in very quick from Chicken MC doing his burn damage. Of course, the Desolator damage so strong on the Templar Assassin. Now they're going to try to push this tier 2 mid, and actually now Imperion's very in a weird position here. And they're not even going to try to go for him. He's just looking for a way out, it looks like. He's got no TP, and any way that he goes is the wrong way for him. But I think he'll be fine. There's no real wards to show where he's going on the map for the dire side. He'll probably head through the high ground, and then I think maybe go all the way around this way and back. But if he goes this way, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. If he went down there and got initiated on by Orbit and Chicken MC, he'd be dead, so... Also, an important thing to note is the snare goes through the BKB in the Magic Community. That's another really nice ability for the Naga Siren. Rotation up to the top lane. Ogre Club plus Blade of Alacrity plus the Band of Elvinskin. So part of the BKB, and then Yasha finishing up as well. So split building items here. And the BKB on Templar Assassin, level 18 almost. And looking to maybe go for the Ancients. The Aegis is still here for another, when did they say it was done? 2319? So, and it'll be done in about 30 seconds here, so they've been pretty aggressive already. They've survived through team fights. The Aegis will be gone. And now, Orbit in the middle lane still farming away. Incarnate heading up to the top lane. So the tier 2 mid is gone. Tier 2 bottom hasn't taken any damage. Tier 2 top taking a little bit, so... MY is looking... They've really got the strangle hold on the side of GHawk right now, and, you know, you look at these graphs and it just tells a pretty convincing story for MYI. Look at the net worth right now. I mean, yeah, they're outperforming everybody by a wide margin, at least on the side of the Templar Assassin. Gyro's actually not too far behind from everybody, but he needs a few more items. He has his Yasha purchased up right now, which will give him some attack speed, some damage as well. But now we see the side of MY. They want to push down here into the top lane. They've got an angle with the Black Hole. They've got the ultimate of the side of the Naga Siren. Whether or not they use it is the question. Imperion is here alone, essentially, and they might need a TP. Incarnate and Chicken MC looking for something. Power shot might fly just to push this creeper a little bit quicker. There's going to be the Sentry Ward to catch out Wind Pulse if he does decide to rotate in there and roam around. MYI is going to back off for the moment. You may be using Incarnate to bait out, but they're not pressing further past this tower until the creep wave's gone at least. I mean, you look at how much Grapple can farm those waves of creeps with Flak Cannon. It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. Wind Pulse now. They need some track gold to get them back into this game, honestly. But MYI is going to keep the pressure up on this tower. Now we see rotation mid here. I thought they might be coming around from the side, but in fact they're just going to try to take this tower. Fortifications are available. Will they use it is the question. It's taking a bit of damage. There's the fort coming in. We should see the Naga ult giving them vision nicely. Scouting out what they're going to see here. They actually could pop the ult here, and they will do so. It's on 3. This is exactly what they wanted. Black Hole will be following up in just about a second. We'll be on all 3 of those, plus the Ice Path. The damage is going to be so much. There's the power shot. The Macro Pyre as well. It doesn't even need to be needed. Wind Pulse is actually going to get out of there somehow alive, but they take down 4. They got the Venomancer, they got the Crystal Maiden, and that's going to be probably it for this game. They're going to take this tier 3 without a problem. I don't know how many buybacks are available, but even if there are, they can still take this fight, no problem here. So Wind Pulse will have to get out of there, just barely alive. Buyback from Grappo, going to try to defend this. BKB is available, wasn't able to use it because he died so quickly in that black hole. Call down is used, and they need to get out of this here. Chicken MC will be taking some damage. Orbit has his refraction, so he's just fine. Actually, that really didn't do anything. There goes the melee Rex. Range Rex is the next target here. Sway going to go for an Ice Path. Not going to find anybody on it just yet. And they take the tier 3 and the Rex, and that's what they wanted. They'll rotate up. Looking actually down here in the bottom lane, they're looking for something TP canceled from Incarnate. And that's happened a few times. I don't know if it's been from him solely, but it's happened a bit. And I want to remind you guys that assuming that this game is over and assuming MyIntent does win this game, when the game is over, we'll have a little bit of a break because the teams do need to eat dinner. This is going to be a LAN event. These guys have played a lot of games, and I kind of need to eat as well. So I'm not going to turn the stream off. I'll leave the music running in the background if I do decide to leave. I'll probably be near the chat for most of the time, but I'll eat something real quick and I'll get back with you guys. But that being said, not over just yet. Of course, Wind Pulse can come back with the track gold. Something that's really strong. When we see a smoke anchor, this is exactly what they need to do. If they can find even one hero out and lose 0, they'd be in a good position. Obviously, they want to get a team wipe, but that's something that could be very difficult to accomplish. Incarnate and Chicken MC and his team are doing really well. Blade of Alacrity plus the Bandit Mill. That's going to finish, of course, the Yashiz up on the, plus the Ultimate Orb. So, Mantis out very soon for Chicken MC, and that's just going to be a lot more damage that they already really don't need. Jamie D with the BKB now, and he's not even worried about getting canceled by anybody. So, there's nothing that goes through BKB, I believe. I don't believe Homing Missile does, so keep that. Yeah, no, Homing Missile I don't believe does that. No, there's no way. I mean, that's the only one I'm not really, I don't really know. Of course, Call Down doesn't stun, unless there's like a mini stun like they do with the Lich Ult, which I learned the hard way. If you remember the other Staff Cup, it was these casters versus ESFI, and I was playing we had the same sort of lineup where we had the Naga Siren plus the Enigma. Actually, we had Templar Assassin too, so this lineup is very similar to what we ran. And they had a Lich on the other team, and of course that Lich Chain Frost goes with the mini stun. And I was just wondering, I had BKB. I was like, what is stunning me? They don't have anything. And they're like, yeah, Chain Frost. So it was like, oh yeah, that okay. And we ended up losing that game. But yeah, that's alright. Shackle shot onto Roshan. They want to take this down a little bit quicker, and they don't even need to get in there with Orbit. He can just do this himself, especially with the Chrysalis. So. We'll probably go for a Daedalus. Has enough for a Demon Edge after this Roshan attempt, and Incarnate will help out. So, some drawings from MYI right now. Team. Orbit does take the Aegis here, and has enough for Demon Edge, but will not purchase it up. I'm sure the Courier will do so for him. Not a whole lot of room on the Courier right now, though. There's a lot of everything. So looking for the tier 3 mid right now. Black Hole should be back up in just a moment, if it's not already. In fact, it is. Remember, the duration of which does not change as it levels up. It just does more damage and
Invisibility.
Yeah, just more damage. And Song of the Siren up again. So looking for this tier 3 right now. They can absolutely certainly fight into this with the Aegis, with the team fighting abilities, and Imperium has to get. They really have to be lucky with the BKB pop from. They essentially have to whiff on the Black Hole for this to not go well for them, I think. Trap is popped up on the high ground right now, and they're looking at this tier 3 with some interest. And they're going to dive it just right away with the illusions just to pressure them out a little bit, and they want to take some Radiance damage. That's not what they want. Chicken MC and Orbit trying to take this tower and are doing a good job of it right now. Fortification not available, so tier 3 should be going down. BKB is popped on the side of the Chaos Knight. They're looking for something. They're not going to go into here. Orbit trying to get out of there. There's going to be the Song of the Siren, but it's only Empyrean, of course, and Grapple aren't going to get it. But there goes the BKB. There's the Black Hole as well. Onto Mikado and to Windshear. It's going to be canceled up immediately. It doesn't matter. They're all going to die. Empyrean wasn't even in it, but he was in the Song of the Siren. He's going to get chased here by Orbit, and oh man, that was a large crit from the Orbit right there. So he'll just take that. They'll take the tier 3. They'll take the Rax, and they'll take GG as well. It looks like it's a really strong play from My Intent. The pickups, of course. I mean, we see this type of play all the time from different teams. I talked about it earlier. The Enigma with the Black Hole, and of course the Naga Siren. It's just a It's just really strong, pretty strong still, regardless of how base damage has been nerfed for Nagasar. Still a pretty good hero. And so nice plays from the side of My Intent. And we're going to get back into a break real quick, and I really appreciate you guys joining us here for this game. This has been game 2 of my MYI versus GH, and MYI will face off in a best-of-5 series between Team Shia, and I'll be there to catch that one. It's about 4:45 right now, so we've got some time. I don't know if I'll start on time, thanks for joining me. You can follow me on my Twitter account up here. You can follow me on my Twitch account, which is also /Maut2, and let me know if you like the cast. I really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, guys.